want your destructive nature in my life. Don't do that. Okay? So we got through that page pretty quick. That wasn't too bad. So now this is a big one right here. I used to joke about this a lot. And I had a joke that I don't say no more because you gotta be careful what you be saying, how you be joking. You know what I'm saying? Don't be scared to talk. But I done lived enough life to learn you can offend people unintentionally. So your partner is a direct reflection to who you are. And this is pretty much literal. Now, this was the joke. I'm gonna tell you the old joke I used to say. And it ain't like no ha 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 joke. It's just some shit I used to say. If I'm cool with a dude, I'm like, oh, this nigga cool. This a cool nigga. His girl come in and she a crackhead, that mean you a crackhead. Now that's kind of literal. What I mean is, on the paper I wrote, if you a thief, if your girl a thief, you a thief. That's what I wrote on paper to be less offensive. But for example, if I think you cool and I meet your girl and I'm like, oh, that's that chick that be stealing all this. That's that booster. That's the big booster in town. Like, yeah, she be stealing. You can ask her for anything. She'll steal that shit. Yeah, she can anything. Well, I'm gonna be like, I thought this nigga, I didn't know he was like with that. So I'm gonna be like, oh, so you with the shit too. That's how I'm gonna be looking like. Now that don't mean just cause your partner steal, you literally steal, but you comfortable with it. Let's say this. Let's say I'm kicking with a white homie. Like the white homie, he cool, right? But his girlfriend is just flat out racist. Like, I meet his girlfriend and she don't want to touch me. She's looking at me kind of funny. You know what I mean? And like maybe she say something that indicate, oh, you on some racist stuff. Well, now I'm gonna be like, oh, so that means like when y'all in private, she speaks freely to you and you must be cool with this shit. She racist, so you must, you know what I'm saying? So your partner is a direct reflection of who you are. Whether it's true like that or not. Maybe you got with somebody that's totally opposite and you just like the way you're looking, y'all like fucking. And it ain't that deep. This is how people gonna perceive you. If your partner messed up, they're gonna think you messed up. So this is another reason why you need to pick the right woman, not the wrong woman, because she's gonna represent you. People are gonna associate you with her. So if they see her out here all crazy, looking any kind of way, talking any kind of way, they're gonna associate that with you. You know what I'm saying? Another thing with this is you need to be cautious of the woman you're dealing with, because let's say a woman don't respect you. Let's say she using you. Let's say she using you because you got money and you don't mind spending it on her. And she using you. So like when she out here, she be flirting with other dudes, talking to other dudes, talking down on your name. But now you looking real dumb. You know what I'm saying? If I see a dude and I'm like, oh, this is a cool dude, but his girl out here doing him any kind of way, talking to other dudes and shit like that, I'm like, oh, this nigga can't handle his business. His woman all over, but she ain't got no respect for him because she know him better than I do. I'm gonna add some on that. OG, what was OG name? What was the OG name? I kind of want to give him his props for this one. I can't remember his name. I was working at a screen printing place, right? And it was an older dude, a little older, and he wasn't even like a dude when I looked at him. He wasn't even a dude that I looked at like as OG. He was just an older dude because he kind of was out here chasing girls too. I thought he should have been past that. But I was talking, and I'm bumping my gums. I'm just running my mouth, right? And I'm a lot younger. This was before I even had kids. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still young and dumb. I'm like in my early 20s, I think. I'm like in my early 20s. And so I still don't know shit. I think I know something, but I don't. And I'm sitting here talking about she was my girl at the time, but now she's my ex. Anybody that know me, that's close with me, they know who I'm talking about when I say my ex. Because I believe that everybody has one ex. I don't care how many people you talk to. I don't care how long y'all dated. Everybody know when they say my ex, your close friends know who you talking about. So I was with my ex, and my ex is the person that really taught me a lot of game, because in my opinion, the best way to learn game is to get game ran on you. Like they say, you learn more from your losses than you do your wins. So this is where I learned most of what I learned. This woman taught me a whole lot, whether I was ready for it or not. And to be honest, I appreciate it. I'm glad, because I was very gullible and in denial about a lot of stuff. And now I'm able to pass this information on to you. So, your woman, you don't, this is what the OG told me. I almost got sidetracked. The OG, I was sitting there complaining about my girl, talking about all the shit she was on and all the shit she was doing and how unappreciative she was and all the bullshit she was on. and the OG, I'm talking like in a group of people, you know what I mean? So the OG caught me when it was just kind of like me and him. We was like, I was just doing our little work or whatever, and she was like, "Hey, yo, man," he was like, I could tell he wasn't trying to like overstep. He wasn't trying to hit me like, "Come here, youngster." Like he was just trying to like, respectfully just put me up on some game, and I soaked it up. He was like, yeah, when you in public, you don't never complain about your woman. You don't you don't be in public telling niggas and people what your woman is doing, like bad shit like that, like she talking to you like this, or she talking to this dude behind your back, or she treats you like this. You don't want to do that. And he elaborated, but basically what he was saying was that let me know you ain't no nigga, you ain't no real man. That's what he's telling me. Like, you can't handle your woman. You got a woman who over here running you in circles, and all you can do is complain and cry about it. You know what I mean? Instead of leaving this woman, you sitting there telling me all this bad shit, and you ain't telling me how you bossed up and got a better woman, or telling me how you kicked her to the curb. You just sitting here doing, oh, she do this, do that. Think about that shit. You sitting around complaining about all this scandalous shit a girl doing to you, and instead of the story being, yeah, she did all this, I had to kick her to the curb and pull a better one, or kick her to the curb and focus on my business and focus on me getting where I'm trying to go. You just sitting here crying about it like a little kid. It's not a good look. So don't be out here in public complaining about what your woman is doing, even if she is doing it. That's private, and it make you look bad. It's not a good look, all right? Uh, so what we got? Okay, so other than your partner being a direct reflection of you, so some dudes might be asking like, so what is a woman's role in a man's life? This is a very important question. This is a good question to have. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. If anybody was watching this and y'all been asking, well, what role does a woman play in your life? You are thinking appropriately. You're thinking right. You are a couple steps ahead of me, and you thinking about the important questions that we need to be asking ourselves and other people. So this is something that a couple people I might lose a couple people here. Some people might disagree, and that's good. I want people to disagree. And if you do disagree, look down in this comment section. If we on YouTube, go down in this comment section, and I want you to tell me what you think a woman's role is in a man's life. If we on Instagram, go in the comment section, tell me what you think a woman's role is in a man's life. But I'm gonna tell you what I think the role is, because I'm the one talking right now. So I don't know how familiar you are with the movie, like the Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, the Furious Nine, all of this shit, right? You know how like ain't nobody pulling up in no slow car to race. All right, we get it. Everybody when they pull up, they in a fast ass car. Period. Whether it's a muscle car, one of them little itty bitty like cars that go quick. Everybody in a fast car. So what separates us? The driver, which is you, but also they got this thing in the cars called NOS, like NOS, and it's like a booster, like a hyper boost. It make the car go from like, you might be doing like 150, you hit the NOS, you about to be doing like 225, smashing, like you can't even see shit. Everything's a blur. You know what I mean? You better hope ain't nothing in front of you because you hitting that shit. So to me, a woman is like the turbo boost in a man's life, because the reason why I say this is where we're gonna lose people, because we all know feminism is alive and kicking real strong right now. You know, we know that the whole equal rights, women being equal, and anything a man can do, I can do better. That ain't nothing new, but it's like super strong right now. So you're gonna step on some toes anytime you start talking about a woman's role. Like that whole word, like that whole talking about, oh, what's a woman's role with a man, that by itself is offensive. Even if you're saying something positive, you don't dictate my role. So let's go here. Me personally, I have chose to be non-religious at this stage of my life. I believe in God. I believe in right and wrong. I believe that when you die, something happens. Some I don't think the lights just cut off and that's it. Something happens. I grew up in a Christian church, just like most of us. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. Oh, Sister Johnson got the Holy Ghost. Praise Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm hip to all of this. And like I said, I choose to be non-religious really because when I was at a turning point in my life and I was trying to use church as a guide, I started noticing like a lot of fallacies in the church. And I was like bouncing around from like church to church. I was trying to find like a church home so I could like get my my spiritual life together. And it was like every church I went to, all I kept hearing was the collection plate ain't gonna fill itself up, and yeah, we're gonna do a third collection plate. And I just started noticing some stuff that kind of just made me pull back and say, you know what? How about we play some Bob Marley and we just say love is our religion. Treat people right, treat people how you want to be treated, and put positive energy out into this universe. I think that's a safe bet for now until we figure out what we're doing with our spiritual journey. So I say all that to say this. Let's say you're a Christian. You read the Bible, you go to church, and all that stuff, okay? And I'll say this, I would encourage people to have a definitive place where they are spiritually or religiously. I think it is good to practice religion because it's like a discipline. It keeps you centered in something. I believe there's a little truth in everything. So it's not that I'm against one religion or another. That's really one of my things. I felt like to be down with one religion, you kind of have to say, oh, another religion ain't it. That was another reason why I kind of stepped away, because I don't like that whole, oh, you wrong, I'm right thing. But let's say you're a Christian, right? Well, in the Bible, God created man. Man was lonely. He took a rib from Adam, and he created Eve so Adam could have a helpmate. That's what it was. So based on the Bible, the story is the woman is a man's helpmate. She's not his leader. She's not his equal. She's not his. She's there to help him in whatever he's trying to do. This is why, as a man, you need to really be taking accountability for yourself and make sure you building some legitimate shit. Like you really out here focused on something. You really trying to build something. That way, when you do come across a good woman and she's in her rightful space in nature and she's there to boost you and push you forward and give you that edge, she got something to push and boost. So let's say like I said, the woman is a man's boost. She's not his motivation, his inspiration. She's not the machine itself. You get what I'm saying? Because damn, I should have wrote this down. I'm trying, because I got this little thing I've been saying to myself, and I don't want to say it wrong. I believe a woman can live her entire life without a man and be content, but she will never fulfill her purpose in this world. I don't think men are meant to live alone. Now, a man can live alone and fulfill his purpose, but his purpose will never reach the goals that it could have reached if he had the woman in his life to be that turbo boost. And I'm not gonna get on this too much right now because it's a little further down the line on this. But for me, when I look at the most successful men in the world, like the men that I look up to, the men that I admire, who I think are just like the most ultimate men in the history of the world, all of these men had strong women as their wives. You know, not girlfriends neither, not baby moms. They had these women as their wives. And all these women always kind of stood out as being exceptional helpmates, but never the primary focus. And by them being an exceptional helpmate, there's a certain point in that man's story where she does become the primary focus, and she becomes the thing that determines, are we going to go up or are we going to go down? So this is why she's so important, you know. So the woman's your turbo boost. Like let's say you a dude, right? Let's say you a dude and you out here. What's an easy example? Because I like to use examples. I think it's important to give good examples. How am I look? You see a little more light on my face right there. There's light coming in and out. You know, I ain't worried about it though. So I'm gonna use a athlete. Let's say a pro ball player. I use basketball as a reference a lot. Let's say you're a pro ball player. I look at a lot of pro ball players, and a lot of the most successful ones, I'm talking about, let's say Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe. Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe. No particular order. I don't care who you like the most or none of that stuff. I don't think nobody's arguing that Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe could be considered the best three basketball players to ever play the game. All three of these men were married during the peak of their careers. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll talk about this a little later on. I'm going a little deeper detail with it. But all three of these men were married, and they didn't have to be married. You got to think, we talking about superstar athletes, and all these men are considered very desirable by women to some degree. Even if you don't like the way the nigga look, the nigga still 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", and in great shape, and is well known and rich. So there's some level of physical attraction if you don't like the nigga face. You know what I'm saying? So all these men were married, and they could have been out here on some Playboy type stuff. They could have been out here just busting everything they saw, not worried about no commitments and no relationship. But it's also a reason why these men are the most successful. Now let's go away from sports real quick. Another one of the men I like to talk about and I admire, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was married. Now I think, was Muhammad Ali married multiple times during his career? I'm not sure, but I know he was married, and that's the important thing, is that you need this constant, you need this foundation, this balance in your life, which we're gonna talk a little bit more about too. But when you come home, like when you get done doing what you do in this world, you get done being the man, you get done being victorious and conquering shit, you don't want to be coming home with this complex, like this big gigantic ego where you're the most dominant in your field, but then you want the entire world to treat you and recognize you like this. What the woman is really doing is balancing you out. You get what I'm saying? She needs to be bringing balance to you. So let's say you go out here and you stink it up. Let's say like Deontay Wilder lost the 2 fights. He won 1 fight. They drew him and Tyson Fury. He had a draw, and he lost the last 2 fights, right? One of the big things that they showed, like it was like the first fight he lost with Tyson Fury, his woman was like sitting there, like really like just kind of licking his wounds. You know what I mean? She was just like kind of caressing the back of his neck, and she wasn't saying a whole lot. You could tell it wasn't nothing he wanted to hear, but she was just kind of caressing the back of his neck and just kind of slowly lifting him up, like, yo, we know you lost. And as a boxer, when you lose, that means you got your ass whooped. This ain't like, oh, I lost a basketball game and they outplayed us, or, oh, I was hooping, but this nigga wasn't hooping. This is boxing. This nigga was putting them hands on you. So you know, as a dude, this got this nigga feeling like, damn, I just got my ass whooped. I'm a black dude, he a white dude, I'm fighting for my race, and this dude been talking shit, I've been talking shit, and I just got beat up, So instead of her hiding from the nigga like she's scared of him, instead of her looking down at the nigga, she's sitting there comforting him, building him back up. That's a good sign, So let's see. So a man and a woman. Okay, so a man and a woman are meant to balance each other out. Balance. Balance is an important word. I don't think people understand how important this word balance is. And shout out to some of the homies like Holly. Holly had like a whole mixtape called Balance. It was like B-O-W, like bow. Like that was some like Kansas City shit niggas was on. I think he had like a whole mixtape called Balance. So niggas is already hip to this shit low key. But balance is everything. But especially in this man and woman thing, because with feminism and the way, and it's like how, just so y'all know what's happening is, it's a gender swap. This is what, I don't like to say they, because who's they? But what they doing is they're trying to get us to do a gender swap where the women become the men become the women, and then they can have complete control over us, and then at some point it's gonna slowly roll back. So where am I at? Okay, so men and women are meant to balance each other out. All right. So this whole thing about equality, low key, women are cheating themselves trying to gain equality, because the beauty of balance is balance doesn't care about gender roles, and balance doesn't care about weight. All balance wants to do is go from here to here. That's what balance is. Balance doesn't care. Like, let's say, like how we said, you got Deontay Wilder, right? Deontay Wilder's like one of the top heavyweights in the game and all that stuff. So he's up here, right? So you get a woman who's, let's say she's just beautiful. She's just beautiful. She's not a celebrity. She's not known for anything, and she doesn't have one particular skill that stands out. So you might think, oh, well, she's down here. Not when that man loses that fight and she's caressing the back of his neck, building him back up. Guess what? That's the balance. That's why you don't want equality. You know what I'm saying? Because equality is hard to explain to a woman on why she shouldn't want it. How could you explain to somebody you don't want to be equal? You don't want to be my equal. How can you explain that to somebody and justify that? But balance. So why does it have to be balanced or equal and not both? Why can't we be equal and balanced? If you really think about that, that's unbalanced already. So this is another spot where I might lose some people. And all of this is what I'm talking about as a dude. Let me see what my time is at. Whew, damn. Boy, this is a big one. I'm chopping this video up. This probably gonna be like a part 1, part 2, and part 3. So just in case I cut this off right here, you watching Player Talk, this big bro Grizz, and look forward to part 2. All right, so what's up with it? This big bro Grizz. You watching part 2 of what we just got done talking about how to pick the right woman, how to avoid picking the wrong woman, the pitfalls and all that stuff. So we're gonna keep it going where we was. So why does it have to be balanced or equal and not both? You get what I'm saying? Well, because